Hey everyone, U.S. immigration lawyer Michael Ashoori here. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips to help you not get your immigration case rejected by USCIS. For those of you that don't know, there's a difference between getting your case rejected versus getting your case denied. When USCIS denies a case, it means that they reviewed the case and for some reason they determined that the applicant for that case either doesn't qualify, they're ineligible, or there's something else about the case that will result in ultimately USCIS denying the case, determining that they don't qualify. A rejection is different than a denial. When USCIS rejects a case, it means that they don't even review the merits of the case. Something was done improper, perhaps when the case was filed, so that USCIS is not even going to consider the case. When a case gets rejected by USCIS, they actually generally return the case file to the applicant for them to correct whatever errors there were and resubmit the case. When a case is rejected by USCIS, they won't even cash the filing fee checks that are required for the case. So as you can see, a rejection and a denial are 2 different things. So again, in this video, I want to share with you 5 tips to help you avoid getting your case rejected by USCIS. So let's get started. Tip number 1, make sure that you file your immigration application or your immigration petition using the most recent version of that form that's required for your case. So generally, you should know that USCIS is regularly updating their forms. They're regularly publishing new editions of immigration forms. So when you're preparing your immigration application or your petition with USCIS, you want to make sure that you're using the most recent and current version of the form that USCIS is currently accepting. If you use an outdated version of a form, then USCIS will likely reject your case. So again, tip number 1, make sure you're using the correct and most recent version of the immigration form for your particular case. Now, let's go to tip number 2. This tip has to do with filing fees. So just like how USCIS is regularly updating their forms and the versions of their forms, USCIS is regularly updating and changing filing fees. If you file your case with an incorrect filing fee, then your case will likely be rejected. So tip number 2 is to make sure that you're filing your case using the correct filing fees. And generally, USCIS has instructions for particular forms. So you want to make sure to review those instructions, and when you're reviewing the instructions, find out the precise amount that is due for your particular case so that when you're submitting your immigration case, you're submitting it with the correct filing fees. Now let's move on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 has to do with signatures. You want to make sure to sign in the appropriate places for your immigration case. If you submit your immigration application with signatures missing, then that immigration case will likely be rejected. So make sure that you're properly signing your immigration case. Let's move to tip number 4. Tip number 4 has to do with the address that you're filing your immigration case with. So USCIS has multiple addresses where they accept applications. And the address that's appropriate, the correct address for your application, will be based on your state, whether you're filing your case using FedEx or the US Postal Service, and various other factors can influence which address you are required to submit your application to. So when you're filing your immigration case, you want to make sure that you're submitting your application to the correct address, because if you submit your case to the incorrect address, your case will likely be rejected. So again, you can find this information on the USCIS website, where there will be instructions for your particular case type, and you can see the specific address that you are required to submit your case to, depending on various factors. Again, that's tip number 4. And moving on to tip number 5. And tip number 5 has to do with leaving blank spaces on your immigration forms. So while I have not personally experienced this, I've heard of others experience issues where USCIS has rejected immigration applications because of blank spaces being left on the immigration forms. So make sure to fill out the immigration forms as thoroughly as possible and to correctly answer all the questions on the immigration forms, as again, I've heard of instances of people getting their immigration cases rejected because of leaving certain spaces blank on the immigration forms. So again, those are 5 tips to help you avoid getting your case rejected by USCIS. Now, I want to mention that, as you can see, these are all potentially ticky-tack mistakes that somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of experience handling immigration matters could make. It's not unreasonable for someone to make these mistakes. That's why, although it's not required, it's very helpful to work with an immigration lawyer. So again, I hope you found this information extremely helpful. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you know anybody that could benefit from this information, feel free to share this video with them. We're all about empowering you with knowledge. So the more people that can watch this video that can benefit from this information, the better. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.